This evening, first, elections preparation underway. GCOM gears up for 2025 elections with plans for international support. Find out what steps are being taken to ensure transparency and efficiency after the challenges of 2020. Plus, officers stabbed at Stabroek Market. A late-night altercation turns violent, leaving a police officer hospitalized and several suspects in custody. We'll bring you the dramatic details. Also, $17 billion road upgrades. Major access roads across regions 4 and 5 are getting a facelift. Learn how these projects will improve commutes and transform transportation infrastructure. And tragic domestic attack. A young woman fights for her life after a brutal assault allegedly by her fiancé, a GDF corporal. What led to this horrific act, and what's next for the suspect now in custody? Finally, Haiti in crisis. The UN warns of escalating gang violence, holding millions hostage, with hundreds of thousands displaced and lives lost. We'll examine the dire situation in Port-au-Prince. Stay tuned for these stories and more coming up on Headline News Update. Welcome to this broadcast of Channel 2's Headline News Update for November 25th, 2024. I am Baby Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. First up, the Ghana Elections Commission, GCOM, is gearing up for the 2025 general and regional elections with plans to conduct a needs assessment for international assistance. Chief Elections Officer Vishnu Prasad announced that the assessment will identify areas where additional support is required to ensure a transparent and efficient electoral process. Speaking at the press conference on Friday, Prasad noted that GCOM has engaged delegations facilitated through the United Nations Development Program to initiate this process. The assessment team is expected to visit Guyana and provide recommendations by the end of the year. Earlier this month, GCOM also held discussions with representatives from the US, UK, Canada, and the European Union, exploring options such as observer delegations and other forms of electoral aid. This initiative comes in response to challenges faced during 2020 elections, which were plagued by delays and allegations of fraud. GCOM aims to strengthen the trust and transparency in the upcoming elections by seeking international support. On a different note, a police constable was stabbed by 4 men near Stabroek Market while intervening in a dispute. Del Jarvis has more details.
A police constable performing foot patrol duties near the Stabroek Market area was attacked and stabbed by 4 men, believed to be Venezuelan nationals, late Sunday night. The incident occurred around 11:45 p.m. on Cornhill Street while the officers stationed at Brigden Police Station intervened in a dispute. The officer, in plain clothes and armed with a .38 revolver, approached a Spanish-speaking woman wielding a broken bottle during an argument with another woman. After identifying himself and instructing her to drop the weapon, 4 men, one armed with a knife, attacked him from behind, inflicting multiple stab wounds. In response, the officer discharged 4 rounds from his service firearm into the air, causing the attackers to flee. He was later transported to the Georgetown Public Hospital by an impact patrol and is currently in stable condition, receiving treatment for several stab wounds. The 4 male suspects, along with the 2 women involved in the initial altercation, were apprehended and are in police custody at Brigden Police Station. 2 of the suspects are receiving treatment for minor injuries under police guard. Crime technicians processed the scene and investigators reviewed CCTV footage and questioned witnesses as the investigation continued. Reporting for Headline News Update, Dale Jarvis.
Thanks, Dale. Police are investigating a shooting incident early Sunday morning that left a 17-year-old laborer from B Fields Fire nursing a gunshot wound to his thigh. According to police reports, the incident occurred around 2:30 a.m. on A Fields Fire Access Road. The teenager and another 17-year-old were traveling on a red Honda motorcycle when 2 unidentified men on a black XR motorcycle dressed in dark clothing and wearing masks approached them. The teen rider attempted to avoid the suspects, but the pair heard 2 loud explosions like gunshots. The pillion rider later felt a burning sensation in his thigh and noticed he was bleeding. The injured teen was taken to the Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation and received medical treatment. Police canvassed the area for CCTV cameras and questioned residents, but no significant leads have been uncovered. Investigations are ongoing. Stick around when we return. Government allocates $17 billion for major main road access upgrades, and 23-year-old mother in critical condition after allegedly attacked by fiancé.
It is the biggest sale of the year going down right here at Clearance, always keeping you in style. The 29th of November 2024 Black Friday sale where you get half off store-wide. Get half off all your top brands like your Kenneth Cole and Dockers footwear, Puma and Nike sneakers, men's suits, shirts, Levi jeans, and jerseys. Get half off on ladies' footwear, handbags, dresses, tops, working suits, and so much more. So keep the date in mind, November 29th, 2024, right here at Clearance, half off store-wide. Clearance, always keeping you in style.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny?
I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Hello, my fellow TikToker followers. It's Credit, and today all we will be making Chinese noodles with peppies, chow mein, chicken fritters, and spice cake. For the noodles, all of these will be using peppies, black pepper, cashew,
Chinese sauce, soy sauce, garlic sauce, paprika, Chinese seasoning, chow mein seasoning, fried spice, and all-purpose seasoning.
Next, this chicken that we marinated, soak for all you don't know nothing with peppies, green seasoning, miracle seasoning,
Pepper sauce, chicken seasoning, paprika, garlic powder, dark seasoning, black pepper, onion powder, and ginger powder, and document plantain flour, and then this butter we make with this quick piece powder, and we
boil in high. We serve with peppies, barbecue sauce. Radical went to the supermarket and she papa buy up enough things. She feels she alone can cook, but she routine even wrong. He shaped like a guy in a map.
Peppies has a wide range of ingredients available at supermarkets nationwide. Peppies, we put the pep back into your kitchen.
Sneakily with a gift of sight from Modern Optical Services. Let our professional team examine and prescribe what's best for your eyes. Common smiles make fashionable faces. See us for a full line of optical services, including brand name and prescription eyewear. Modern Optical Services, 316 Mill Street, Georgetown. Telephone 226-1082.
We are back. Our holiday specials are here. From now until December 6th, enjoy our exclusive Christmas packages. Get one service free when you book 3 services, complimentary mattress cleaning with any yard power washing service, free small carpet cleaning with every chair set cleaning and steaming. Connect with us on Facebook and Instagram or visit us at 3430 Jacksonville, North Rumble, Georgetown. You can also give us a call on 689-7558, 646-0405, or 639-6365. Start your holiday preparations early with Fortune Investment Company and let us make your season shine.
GCOM is currently conducting a national registration exercise. Who can register? Anyone who will be 14 years or older by December 31, 2024 and is a Guyanese citizen by birth, descent, naturalization, or is a citizen from a Commonwealth country living in Guyana for 1 year or more. Where to apply for registration? You are required to visit the registration office that is responsible for the registration of persons in your area of residence to apply for registration. Office hours, Monday to Thursday, 8 to 12 hours, 13 hours to 16 hours 30, and Friday from 8 to 12 hours and 13 to 15 hours 30. The offices will be closed on weekends and holidays. This registration exercise will end on November 29, 2024. For further information, contact the GCOM on 225-0277-9 or visit the website www.gcom.org.gy.
Welcome back. The Ministry of Public Works has committed $17 billion to rehabilitating 19 main access roads across regions 4 and 5. The initiative aims to improve connectivity, ease traffic congestion, and enhance the daily commute of residents. 6 contracts were signed on Saturday, with an additional 13 awarded earlier this month. Minister of Public Works, Bishop Juan Edgehill, emphasized the importance of completing these projects within the set timelines, which range from 5 to 14 months. Key upgrades include the Diamond Alternative Access Road, which will link the East Bank Public Road to 1st Avenue Diamond, and the widening and resurfacing of 3rd Avenue Diamond Housing Scheme. Additionally, several other roads, such as Homestretch Avenue and Princess Street, will undergo significant improvements, including the construction of pedestrian walkways, bridges, and drainage system. Aubrey Barker Road, South Rhymeville, and Well Road to Blacker Canal, which connects Ogle to Eccles 4-lane highway, are being reconstructed to form a new 4-lane road. The government has also stressed transparency, requiring contractors to engage with the local communities before beginning work. These road improvements are part of a broader effort to enhance transportation infrastructure and improve the quality of life in the region. In other news, today, the world observes the 25th anniversary of the International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women, a day dedicated to raising awareness about the ongoing global crisis of gender-based violence. Violence against women and girls remains one of the most widespread human rights violations, with nearly 1 in 3 women worldwide experiencing physical or sexual violence from intimate partners or non-partners at some point in their lives. Tragically, in 2023, over 51,000 women were murdered by partners or family members, equating to 1 woman killed every 10 minutes. This epidemic of violence has worsened across various environments, including the workplace, online spaces, and areas affected by conflict and climate change. In observance of International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women, the Unite campaign, which was launched today, aims to intensify global efforts to combat this violence. Running from November 25th to December 10th, the 16-day campaign will highlight the alarming increase in violence against women with the message, "Every 10 minutes, a woman is killed, #no excuse." The campaign seeks to push for more robust accountability, calls for action from leaders, and increased funding for women's rights initiatives. If you or anyone you know is a victim of gender-based violence, call the Ministry of Social Security's 914 hotline for help. Our next story underscores the significance of the International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women. A 23-year-old mother is in critical condition after a brutal assault by her fiancé, a GDF corporal. More from Dale Jarvis.
A 23-year-old mother, Letitia Reynolds, is battling for her life after being stabbed and chopped allegedly by her fiancé, Philon Edwards, a 26-year-old Guyana Defense Force corporal. The violent incident occurred on Friday evening at their home in Number 30 Village. According to police reports, the suspect accused Reynolds of allowing her son's father to visit during his absence. Despite her clarification, Edwards allegedly became enraged, retrieving a knife and attacking her. The woman sustained multiple stab wounds to her face, abdomen, and hand. Edwards then allegedly used a cutlass to inflict a severe neck wound before fleeing the scene. Reynolds managed to seek help from a relative and was rushed to Fort Wellington Public Hospital, later being transferred to the New Amsterdam Public Hospital for further treatment. Her condition remains critical. Edwards surrendered to the police at Welldat Police Station shortly after the attack, admitting to the crime. He is currently in police custody as investigations continue. Reporting for Headline News Update, Dale Jarvis.
Thanks, Dale. Don't go away after the break. Colombia demonstrations, rally against social and economic reforms, and Philippines fire blaze tears through hundreds of homes in Manila.
Good girl forget things.
Who's
What's the problem, Granny?
I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Furnishing your home or office has never been easier. Here at Kissoons, our inventory of locally made and imported furniture, offered at amazing prices, will leave you wanting more. From vinyl, floor rugs and carpets, bedroom, dining and living room sets, mattresses, pillows, office desk, chairs and filing cabinets, outdoor benches and tables. We have a piece of furniture for every room imaginable in your home or office. Check out our flagship store at Industrial Site Rijnveld or one of our branches in New Amsterdam, Port Morant, Riverton and Camp Street. Kissoons Furniture, furnishing homes for over 50 years.
Sneakily with a gift of sight from Modern Optical Services. Let our professional team examine and prescribe what's best for your eyes. Common smiles make fashionable faces. See us for a full line of optical services, including brand name and prescription eyewear. Modern Optical Services, 316 Mill Street, Georgetown, telephone 226-1082.
The Guyana Elections Commission GECOM is currently conducting a national registration exercise. Who can register? Anyone who will be 14 years or older by December 31st, 2024 and is a Guyanese citizen by birth, descent, naturalization, or is a citizen from a Commonwealth country living in Guyana for 1 year or more. Types of transactions. Anyone eligible for registration is required to visit the registration office responsible for his or her area of residence to apply for registration. Persons who are already registered could apply for a name change if they have changed their names since they were last registered. Apply for corrections if there is incorrect information on their national ID cards. Persons who are desirous of conducting any of the above transactions must provide the relevant supporting documents. Persons who are already registered could request that their photographs be retaken if the quality of the photographs on their ID cards is unacceptable. Collect their new ID cards if they have not done so as yet. This registration exercise will end on November 29, 2024. For further information, please contact GECOM on the following hotline numbers: 225-027729, 226-6557, 223-9650, or visit the GECOM website at www.gcom.org.gy.
Welcome back. Now we take a look at what's happening in the region and around the world. The UN is warning that millions of Haitians are effectively being held hostage amid a surge in gang-related violence. At least 150 people were killed over the past week in Haiti's capital, Port-au-Prince, and hundreds of thousands have been displaced. Al Jazeera's Ibtizim Gongfu reports.
To soothe her baby, Nadine must put her own fears aside. A nearly impossible task for the mother of three who narrowly escaped gunmen in her neighborhood of Port-au-Prince.
At 2 a.m, a group of people told us that armed bandits had entered our neighborhood of Salino, and I was at home when I noticed the fire outside. I was there with 3 children, including 2 babies, and we wanted to escape. It was a really terrible day, can you imagine? At 2 a.m, all alone, without anyone's help, because everyone is trying to escape themselves.
For now, the tears have stopped. But on the streets of the capital, violence is spreading. It's the second time Nadine's had to leave her home, and she's not alone. 20,000 others were displaced in a single week. 28 were killed when gang members confronted Haitian police in the suburb of Pétionville. French President Emmanuel Macron is blaming the crisis on the country's transitional council, which removed the former Prime Minister Gary Conille, and on Haitians themselves for letting drug trafficking become rampant in the country. A statement many say is unacceptable. A former colonial power, France imposed a colossal debt on Haiti in exchange for its independence. which, coupled with decades of U.S. interference, broke the Caribbean nation's economy.
Not only do they have historical responsibility for reparations regarding the ransom for independence, they also have some responsibility for the chaotic situation Haiti's experiencing today.
Haiti's police forces, supported by 400 Kenyan troops, are struggling to contain the situation. Calls are growing for a formal UN peacekeeping contingent to intervene. But shadows of past missions have left Haitians wary of foreign intervention. Over a decade ago, UN soldiers committed rape and were accused of contaminating water supplies, which led to the death of almost 10,000 people to cholera. Meanwhile, a kiss and some milk are all mothers here can provide to give their families a semblance of safety. In the overcrowded shelters of the city, most are now relying on aid to get by, and the displaced keep on coming. Ibtisam Genfoud, Al Jazeera.
Thousands of Colombians marched in downtown Bogota and other cities, calling for President Gustavo Petro's removal. Protesters oppose his health and labor system reforms and distrust his past as a rebel fighter. Al Jazeera's Alexandria Rampietti reports.
Thousands of people marched through downtown Bogota and other cities on Saturday, calling for the removal of President Gustavo Petro. They're challenging the administration's attempt to overhaul the country's health and labor systems, among other initiatives. Many are also motivated by the deep distrust of the president and his former life as a rebel fighter.
That's why we're marching today. He put his hands on the tax reform because he wants to steal money. He put his hand on health and has turned the entire health system into a disaster. The president does not represent us. He is a person who has never paid for his crimes and does not know how to behave properly.
Right-wing parties had managed to mobilize massive crowds in a previous protest in April, but this time only their core supporters came out. At an event on Friday where the government was distributing land to farmers affected by the country's internal conflict, the president used strong words against the demonstrators while simultaneously promising to guarantee their rights.
Tomorrow, the victimizers will march. Those who want our country to be reigned by injustice. Those who don't want the victims to be vindicated. Those who want the daughters of our poor farmers ending up in brothels in the city. But we will let them march. No one will be gassed. No young protester will lose his eye or be treated as a terrorist like they acted when they were in power.
While clearly much smaller than April's massive rallies, the opposition believes that these protests will help them keep pressure on the government of Gustavo Petro as the government tries to push forward as many social and economic reforms and as the opposition is already gearing up for the 2026 presidential elections.
Miguel Uribe, a presumptive presidential candidate, said Petro's attacks show he knows he's losing support.
He knows that he lost and that more and more Colombians reject his administration. He is hurting the country, but we are not going to fall into these useless discussions. It is evident that he is the one who is harming the country, and we are here marching for a better Colombia.
Polls show that 70% of Colombians believe the country is heading in the wrong direction, but it's unclear who they believe can change its course. What is clear now is that the country remains deeply polarized and divided. Alessandro Rampietti, Al Jazeera, Bogota.
Internationally, hundreds of homes have been destroyed by a fire in the Philippines' capital, Manila. The blaze swept through the harborside suburb of Tondo, hampering firefighters' attempt to reach burning properties. Al Jazeera's Barnaby Lowe reports.
For 8 hours on Sunday, fire engulfed this slum community in Manila's Tondo district. When it was over, 1,000 homes were reduced to debris. Hours later, smoke was still visible on the horizon, a painful reminder for those spending the night on the street outside the neighborhood.
We didn't think the fire would reach us because the wind was blowing the other way, but it changed direction and now all the houses here are gone.
Roella Arubang had to get her bedridden mother to safety during the chaos, and she just feels happy they're alive.
We really prioritized my mother because our lives are more important than anything else.
But some people still went in and out of the scene of the fire, hoping to salvage what they can.
The fire has been declared extinguished, but for some 2,000 families who lost their homes, their suffering isn't over. Even in the dark, it's clear to see they have nothing left to return to.
Authorities are investigating the cause of the fire and say it spread quickly because houses made of light materials were built close to each other. The narrow alleyways also made it difficult for firefighters to get in. The government had to deploy helicopters and boats to help battle the blaze. People who are camped out say it isn't the first time they've lost their homes to a fire, and they say they can't rebuild their homes and lives without help.
For now, a tent would be great, but eventually we'll need help with money to rebuild our home.
At the very least, they say the government is providing them with meals. They're grateful, even if they're having to eat in the dark. Barnabelow, Al Jazeera, Manila.
This brings us to the end of our regional and global news coverage. Up next is the 30-minute forecast. And that's it to be 2 Headline News for this Monday evening. As we take our leave, we invite you to follow us on Facebook and YouTube. You can tune in tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. for a rebroadcast and at 7 p.m. for more news. Until then, please take care of yourself and each other.